Greetings to all the MASL masses, and welcome back to another edition of the MASL Insider. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Phil. That's a nickname, of course. Christian Philemon is my legal name, but since we're all friends here, you can call me Philly. So over the course of this offseason, we've had the honor and privilege of chatting with the holy trinity of our league. If you haven't done so already, make sure to catch MASL Insider on YouTube. Also, make sure you follow MASL on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in order to keep up to date with all the league news and announcements. Like I said, we've already directly spoken to our commissioners, and the goal for the next set of episodes is to chat with the coaches and the players. Our guest today, folks, is a former MASL Rookie of the Year. It didn't take long for him to find his stride in this league as a goal-scoring machine. In his first season, he impressively found the back of the net on 46 occasions. He had 18 assists to go along with his knack for assaulting goalkeepers. That effort led him to a second-team All-MASL honor. His sophomore campaign led him from St. Louis to Cedar Rapids, where he managed to score 33 goals in 18 matches, earning him third-team All-MASL. After 3 seasons in the beautiful Midwest, he took his talents down to the land of the Mouse House, Disney, in case you're wondering, where he was a member of the Orlando Seawolves. His season with Orlando was arguably one of his most impressive, where he managed to score 58 points in 24 matches, 34 goals, 24 assists. If I did my math correctly, there's your number. As a member of Florida, the next season, he helped the Tropics earn the title of Eastern Conference champions. Now, despite having his season cut short due to injury, he still scored 8 goals and 13 assists in 11 matches. We can also call our guest an MASL champion, as he was part of last season's San Diego Soccer's team that beat Ontario in the Ron Newman Cup finals. His stats are pretty darn incredible. 127 games played where he scored, get this, 174 goals, 88 assists for a total of 262 points. That's an average of over 2 points per game. To reference the great game of hockey, that's almost Wayne Gretzky-esque. It's no wonder they call him Kid Dynamite. This guy's explosive. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he's also a 3-time member of the U.S. National Arena Soccer Team. 2015, he was part of a team that won the World Cup. Indoor champion, world champion. Not bad for a kid from Buffalo Grove, Illinois. MASL fans, we're talking about the newest member of the Milwaukee Wave. We have Gordy, Kid Dynamite Gurson. Gordy, welcome to MASL Insider.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. I love what you do here.
I appreciate that. I love what you do on the pitch, man. Like you do on the turf, rather. You do an incredible job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, I did a lot of research on you. I got to call a couple of the games that you played in with the soccer. So, I mean, again, your stat sheet is highly impressive. So, yeah, really pumped and honored. So,
thank you.
I mean, I guess to kick things off, obviously, you know, we've had a bit of a break. Like, how's the offseason been treating you?
It's been pretty good. Honestly, I've been, the trophy has been a vibe for me. I've been winning trophies in Chicago. I've been playing in a bunch of leagues out here. I went to Cleveland for a tournament a couple weeks ago with the semi-pro outdoor team, and we won a tournament there. So things have been pretty good for me.
Awesome. So you haven't really had an off season, is what I'm gathering.
Yeah, no, I play year round. I love it. I love what I do, and I'm not going to stop until I can.
Well, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and it doesn't sound like you're really working then.
That's true. That's for sure.
You grew up in Buffalo Grove, which for some of you who don't know, that's a suburb about an hour outside of Chicago. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you came across the beautiful game.
Well, I had an older brother who played soccer, and he was always playing. My dad was coaching him when I was young, and I was always going to his games, and I was about 4 years old so I was going to all of his games, and I was about 4 years old when I first started kicking around, and I was just going to his games all the time. My dad one time needed players for his team, and I ended up playing up, and ever since then I stuck with it. I loved it. I used to beg my brother and sister to play with me in the backyard so I could play one-on-one. I used to tell my sister I would play Barbies with her. She was younger than me. I would play Barbies with her if she would just play soccer with me in the backyard. So I was desperate, man. I just loved to play the game. I enjoyed it. It was great.
So if you were playing Barbies with her, what was the turnaround? Was she the goalkeeper, or did she did she attack you on the turf?
Oh no, we were playing both, so it was a battle royale.
I love it. So your brother got you into the game. So obviously, with the internet technology and things of that nature and exposure to more teams, like, is there a certain player or club that you followed very thoroughly growing up?
Yeah, Manchester United.
Yes.
Ever since I was a huge fan of David Beckham, and him and I have the same birthday, so I kind of just related to that with him. And so he was my favorite player, him and Cristiano Ronaldo when he played for Manchester United. So I'm so happy he is back there. I'm hopefully trying to go to a game this season and catch it because I don't know how long he's going to stay there, but I love that he's there.
Yeah, I'm a United fan as well. In '92, when a big old Frenchman by the name of Eric Cantona burst on the scene and kicked a fan at Selhurst Park, that caught my eye. I was a big baseball fan prior to that. When I saw a footballer kick a fan, I thought, let me pay attention to this guy and this team. I've been a Manchester United fan since '92.
Sign him up.
No doubt. I got a Cantona and a Beckham
That's
jersey
awesome.
and a Ronaldo in that closet.
I love it.
So
Yeah, my dad wasn't like a huge soccer guy when it came to England. Like he more followed the MLS. And then ever since I was following United, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to pick one of the teams that they hate." So he was a Chelsea fan now, and he loves Chelsea. He's happy rooting against me, and he loves that Pulisic is there.
I mean, that's it's obviously his appearance on that Chelsea roster has garnered a lot of attention and respect, as I'm sure, every American kid around here is probably rocking a Dortmund jersey somewhere along the lines.
Definitely.
But I mean, it's very exciting to see how the talent has developed. Hopefully we don't have any mess ups and the team makes the World Cup, but that's a different conversation.
Definitely.
So let's fast forward to you to high school. You went to Stevenson High School, where you were named to the All-State team in 2009. What was the experience like? And tell us a little bit about your time as a member of the Patriots soccer team.
Honestly, high school was a big point in my life. I had a high school coach who basically took me in as like another father, and he was great to me. I mean, I had some troubles off the field, with school and everything, and he was always there for me. He was helping me. He kept me calm. He kept my eye on the prize as far as being a soccer player and as far as being a person. And honestly, I thank him for everything that he's turned me into and helped me out with, and I'm happy it's led me to where I am.
He no doubt made a big impact because you came out with the tools and the talent to play at the collegiate level. You were a Memphis Tiger. Then you transferred to Robert Morris in Illinois, where you were a 3-time All-American. Clearly that move worked out for you, but what led you to Memphis and then back to Illinois?
What led me to Memphis was a scholarship to play Division I. I was excited, and really happy I got to do it and say that I did it. Due to family reasons, I came back closer to home. So I was here at home for a little bit before I moved to the actual city while my parents were still in the suburbs. And then that's when I was at Robert Morris and I was going back and forth.
How would you say the talent in terms of competition, the level of competition, like, was it different going from Memphis to Robert Morris? Like, did you feel like you had an edge, or would you say, the talent was pretty even on that level?
Honestly, I felt the talent was all the same. I felt like there were less international players at the Division I level, I felt like, than in the NAIA level. But I still felt that the NAIA level was pretty competitive. My team was ranked, not sure what we were ranked. I think the highest we were ranked was like 12th or something in the nation. But when we were a top school in our non-conference games, other schools were coming to compete. We're all top-ranked teams, and we definitely had a tough schedule.
Of course. So, I mean, this was all obviously outdoor, and this is Major Arena Soccer League, so we should start chatting a little bit about indoor. You started out playing outdoor, and then you came indoor. Were you familiar with any of the indoor soccer leagues prior to your time playing, and what made you decide to go inside versus staying outside?
Actually, I was training with the Dayton Dutch Lions in the USL, and I was cut like right before their preseason started. And at that moment, it was about the middle or end of July. and I'm looking for a team, and all of a sudden Alex Megson hit me up. I'm sure you're familiar with that name.
Yep.
And I was good friends with Megson, and he was like, "Hey man, my buddy's friend is putting a team together. Would you be interested?" And I told him, "Yeah, of course." And I went to the tryouts, and it worked out for me, and that's how I got picked up in the league.
Well, you had quite the run your rookie season. MASL Rookie of the Year, an all-league second team, and that same year, a call-up to the U.S. men's indoor soccer team that won the World Cup in 2015. Clearly, you were meant to play indoor at the highest level. How was the transition, though, going from outdoor to indoor?
I mean, honestly, the main transition to me, other than the boards, is the fitness. It's just more sprinting, more quickness, and to me, that's more my style of play than running around for 90 minutes, where I could run for 2.5 2 minutes and come off and then switch, and I feel like it just suits me better as a player.
I guess to get the knack for it, did it take you a while, or was it instant? I mean, obviously your numbers say it was instant, but when did you feel like you kind of got it, understood when everything clicked?
Honestly, I was playing indoor at U9 because we had, in Chicago it snows, so we had indoor leagues consistently. So I was 9 years old playing indoor soccer. I felt like even then I had an advantage to those guys. So honestly, now that I've had the experience of playing up until the pros, I felt like it was easy for me to transition into it.
That's a good point. I didn't factor in the weather. I grew up in the Northeast. I live in LA now, and
I was going to say you're spoiled now.
Totally. I get angry and I'm freezing and when it's below 60 degrees. And I remember living and working in New York City in January or February, when it'd be at its coldest, I'd step outside of my apartment on the Upper East Side, and I would hate it that it was 15 degrees. But looking at Chicago's weather, where it was minus like 10, would always make me feel like I need to not be a wuss and get up and just go to work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gotta be great for what you have.
For sure. I tell you, you were out in San Diego, you're down in Florida, like you become thin-skinned really quickly.
I'm so scared for this winter, but I'm so excited to play close to home. I'm excited to be a part of the Wave family. They've been welcoming in with open arms. I've been getting texts and calls from Coach Jules and the organization, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, and obviously everybody in the league is excited to see the Milwaukee Wave as well. You got Ian Bennett as a teammate. We'll chat about that in a little bit, but shout out to the Milwaukee Wave. We finally start to talk about them, and we're happy that they're back in the league. We're happy that so many of the teams are back in the league. Welcome back, everybody.
Definitely, it's going to be great.
Oh, absolutely. So it's not often you hear about a midseason move for a player that is having an explosive rookie season. Let's go back in time to your rookie year. You started off in the Pacific Northwest, and then you ended up in the Midwest with St. Louis. Like, did that have an impact on you in any kind of way? Like, did it impact your performance? Like, how did you feel starting a season with one team and then halfway through going and getting on another?
Honestly, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I was, things were going okay in Seattle. Like, we were always getting paid on time. Everything was good. We had wonderful housing. There was no really complaints off the field in Seattle, and all of a sudden, I get a call from the owner, and he said, "Guess what, bro? You're going to St. Louis," and I sold the team, and I was like, "What?" And this is mid-season. I think the guy was just totally joking with me, and I'm just a 22-year-old kid at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, pack your bags. Your flight's tomorrow." And I was like, "You're kidding." I hung up the phone. I was so upset. Oh, I'll never forget the day. There I was going off to St. Louis, and it was more of where my transition was. I left on a Wednesday. I showed up Wednesday night. Thursday morning, we had practice at like 7 a.m. for the ambush, and the next day against Kansas City. And it was a tough transition going into a new team where you haven't trained with them. You haven't. I knew barely anything from their team knowing me and me knowing them. I knew no players, and it was tough, but it was a lot of fun. Obviously after a while you open up to people and things get easier. And once that happened, I enjoyed my time there.
I mean, your numbers still picked up. You still were doing phenomenally well. So again, that transition was a positive one, and positive in the sense that, I think that same year you were incorporated into the national team. And in 6 games, you managed a goal and an assist. What was it like, going from having played outdoor and everything, having the wild season that you had, Pacific Northwest to Midwest. Now you're a member of the U.S. national indoor team. Like, talk to us about that. Like, what was some of your fondest memories from that World Cup run?
Honestly, the best memories for me is getting to know the players. I got to spend quality time with all the top players in the league, and it was nothing but positive vibes, and everybody is just hanging around and helping me out. It was great. Even when I was down or no matter what was happening, everyone was always there helping. Danny Waltman, what a guy he is. He was, I'd say, the biggest mentor for me. Like anything that was going on, he would pull me aside and talk to me, say, it's okay, just keep doing what you're doing. You're good. You can score goals. You can do this. And he's like, just keep focusing on you. And what a guy he is. Danny really helped me out during that run.
No, that's great to hear. And this is such a small world, this indoor community, this indoor fraternity, if you want to call it that. It's got to be. How do you turn off that switch? So obviously you see Danny Waltman the way you do with positivity, but then you're wearing the opposing team's jersey, and now you're looking at him as a victim. Like how do you flip that switch on?
Man, it's pretty easy because to me, I see a ball in the net, and I want to put it in, and it doesn't matter who's standing in my way. I'll find a way. And but there's games where Danny gets me. We have talks after, and he said, I got you today. But then there's games where I score a couple or a hat trick on him, and we just talk about it. That's what good memories are for.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Friends off the turf, enemies within. That's how it should be.
Definitely.
Same with the fans, by the way. We should keep it that way as well.
Definitely.
So you land in Cedar Rapids. The journey continues, where you continue to terrorize opposing defenders and goalkeepers for about 2.5 seasons. Cedar Rapids as a team, another interesting story, picks up and moves down to Orlando, where now we have the Seawolves. How much of a surprise was that move for you?
Honestly, things were starting to fall apart in Cedar Rapids. We were getting 4,000 fans my first season there. It got down to under 1,000 every single game, and so we're starting to get concerned with Cedar Rapids, and we're about to play Milwaukee in the playoffs. And the owner comes up to us and said, "Hey guys, I'm thinking about moving the team to Orlando. I think it's a better fit." And he thought it was the market. Well, however, Cedar Rapids to me is a great market. And we had shown that when we were getting 4,000 fans. It's just as far as the ownership goes, if you don't put the time into it, it's things aren't going to work out in your favor. And that's basically what happened with the Cedar Rapids situation. So he moved it to Orlando, where to me, going from the Midwest to Florida was a no-brainer in the wintertime. I could go back there. Honestly, Orlando, we had amazing housing, the nicest housing I've ever had in the league. It was basically a 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom, big mansion with a pool in the backyard, a hot tub in the backyard, and it was there every single day. So you'd wake up, go to practice, go to the gym, and then you got to relax the rest of the day. It was great.
That's awesome. And I had assumed that you were utilizing the resident pass to frequent Disney World, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely went to Disney World a few times.
I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know if you ever heard of a band called Bush, 90s band.
I have.
They had a song called Everything Zen, and there's a line in there that he said that Gavin Rossdale goes, Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. And now I get it. I mean, Disney World is so stupid expensive.
Oh, it's crazy.
That mouse robbed me blind for a good week.
They're good at that.
Oh, they are separating you from your wallet. Them, Vegas. I need to get in on all of that.
Definitely.
So the year after, even Orlando, you stick around Florida. So obviously you still have that beautiful heat and humidity, but you become a member of the tropics. Now, you managed 21 points in 11 matches, but you got bit by the injury bug. Like, how did the injury affect, your overall play, your time in Florida? Like, how would you say, that incident in Florida with the injury has affected you thus far?
Florida was, for me, was a tough time. I mean, the first game of the season, maybe a minute and a half into the season, I ended up having a small fracture in my foot, just from blocking the ball, and my foot bent the wrong way. And I played the rest of that game, and after that, I was out for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I come back against Baltimore at home, and literally as I'm scoring a goal, I hit the ball higher up on my foot. Same thing happened again. So I was out for another week. I took a cortisone shot so I can come back earlier. Ended up playing, and then about 5 weeks later, I ended up in warm-ups. We were taking shots, and they rolled us the ball. I took a shot at Hugo, and he said, "Hey, warm us up." So I hit it to our hands. And so the next time the ball comes nice and I kick it soft, and my hip just popped on me, and I couldn't even walk instantly. And I thought I had a serious injury where I might be done even. I mean, I was in a wheelchair for like 3 days. I was pretty scared at the time. Walking my dog with the hills was not easy. but yeah, obviously I was getting paid good money to be there, and instead of, I mean, I wish the owners would have talked to me about changing my contract while I was injured, but they had told me if I kept going to rehab that I would be back for the playoffs. So I was all excited. We were in first place, and I figured, I'm going to get back for the playoffs. So I'm literally at rehab one day, and I get a phone call from the general manager, and he said, we're releasing you. You have 24 hours to leave the house.
Wow.
And I understood the situation, but I wish it was handled differently. But so I moved out, and there I was a free agent. So I was looking for a team. Obviously, it was a no-brainer for me to go to sunny California, and I went to San Diego. And I guess it's like you pick your own lottery ticket, and I picked the right team. It was a good selection.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice progression because, I mean, the Florida Tropics, I mean, the Eastern Conference champions, but obviously COVID hit and screwed the season up for everybody. Not just the season, screwed everything up in the world. And then you land in San Diego, which I don't care who you are, it's one of the most beautiful places in the United States. That goes without saying.
Definitely.
I love San Diego, and I live in LA. I try to
Beautiful.
get out of LA just so I can visit San Diego. But and you said it, you were a part of the San Diego Sockers. So now you guys win the Ron Newman Cup. You beat Ontario in what was one heck of a final. I had a great seat, not as great as you, but I mean, like, it was a great final. Like, how valuable of an experience was it being surrounded by that much talent and being part of a championship team?
Oh, I mean, when you hear that other teams aren't coming in the league and these players are free agents, to grab them for a season, it's like grabbing an all-star team for, take a couple players here, take a couple players there, and you could make a really good team. And, that's what San Diego took advantage of this season. And they brought a lot of guys in. I mean, obviously I'm so excited to keep playing with Liete. What a veteran he is on and off the field, a true professional. And I'm excited to keep learning from him. That's one of the guys I'd say I learned the most from this season. And I'm excited to continue to watch him play and help out on the coaching staff there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Milwaukee is going to be a tough team. I mean, one would argue that, all right, obviously last season, and I don't agree with this whatsoever. Some people have claimed, oh, there's an asterisk because it wasn't a regular season. No, that's not the case. I mean, the Sockers won the championship, but some will say that it's still Milwaukee's title to defend. And okay, fine. We take that angle. Now you're part of Milwaukee. This is very exciting. You get to team up with Marcio, with Ian, in a talented squad. What other, obviously not the weather, but what are you most looking forward to in terms of being a member of that team?
Oh, yeah, definitely the guys. I mean, nothing better than playing soccer with guys that and you're friends with on and off the field. And I've played with, I'd say, 95% of that roster already, whether it was in an MASL game or if it was in a pickup game in Chicago or something. We've all been there together. We've hung out. We've had good times, and I'm excited to be a part of that family.
They've got a great fan base, a great franchise there, a lot of history.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. So obviously, I know the Wave fans are really happy to get Kid Dynamite on their team. Now,
I'm just excited for them to be cheering for me instead of hating on me.
that's a fair statement. Total fair
There
statement.
was a lot of haters out there, but now they'll be on my side and it'll be good.
Well, that's just how it is. You get the guy, everybody
Always.
hates, then you're on the team, then everybody loves you. That's just the nature of sports.
Gotta love it.
I mean, having grown up in Buffalo Grove, Milwaukee, 70-ish miles away, I imagine you're probably going to have plenty of family and friends going to see matches, I'd assume.
Definitely, yeah. I've been convincing my dad to come, and I think they're getting season tickets. They'll be out there almost every game. When my dad can go, he's going to go. My mom will be there all the time.
That's awesome. That's got to pump you up, right?
Definitely. Nothing feels better than having your parents there while you're playing.
Of course. The journey of an indoor soccer player is quite fascinating. I mean, you've literally played all over the country. In your career and in your travels, tell us what the most memorable experience you've had as an indoor soccer player was.
Wow, I would say probably the World Cup in Tunisia. That was an awesome experience. As far as just going to a country for 12 days that you don't speak their language or anything like that, but they had a nice resort for us. It was right on the water, and the field was right there with us. It was a great experience. The fans were unbelievable. Our hotel was packed. It was a great time, and it was awesome for me to see other parts in the world and how they treat soccer.
Has it ever dawned on you that, when people say Gordy Gurson, you literally are a world champion and an indoor champion. How does that feel?
It feels great. Honestly, it's just, how can I get more? That's all I want now. I'm hungry for more. Always want to get better. I want to strive to be the best. And that's why, it's going to be great watching Ian Bennett in front of me and Marcio. And I got players that I can look, and Luan. I got players all around that I'm going to be able to look up to and not only play with them, but learn from them.
Love hearing it. The makings of a true professional athlete: content, but never satisfied.
Definitely.
So we've been jumping all over the place. I mean, I wanted to highlight your career. I wanted to get the MASL fans out there to really understand your story. Been jumping around a bit. I know you've got other things to be doing on this Friday. So I want to just go end things off with like a couple of rapid fire questions. First thing that pops into your head, would be fine. So just kind of like a rapid fire 1-2 as a part of the getting to know you game. Does that sound good?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All righty. So favorite sport other than soccer?
Ooh, baseball.
All right. And you said you were a White Sox fan earlier, so I love it.
Yes.
Favorite athlete?
Cristiano Ronaldo or David Beckham. I'd say one of the two.
Okay. Best concert you've ever been to?
I was 16 years old, Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Allstate Arena.
Yes, I love the Chili Peppers. Very
great
fun.
Concert.
They're playing SoFi in the next couple of weeks, and I'm still debating whether or not to get tickets. So you got to see the Chili Peppers in California.
If you're around, you got to go.
Absolutely. Best memory in college. Doesn't necessarily have to be on the field of play.
Ooh.
And family friendly as well, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's a tough one. My best memory was probably winning the conference with Robert Morris my sophomore year, being the first time ever to do that with that team, and we had a good playoff run too. We ended up losing in the tournament, I think semifinals, but that was probably one of the best soccer moments for me.
Best soccer moments in college.
In college. Yeah, in college.
Let's ask the same question about your pro career.
Ooh, my best pro career. I would say maybe playing with the futsal national team in Argentina.
Great trip.
Yes, unbelievable. Even right when you get off the bus, there's fans there. Everybody was great. It was a good time.
It's so cool going to a soccer-obsessed country and seeing how people are into it. We have far too many distractions here in the United States.
Definitely. It's amazing. The atmosphere out there is unbelievable.
If you weren't playing soccer, What would you be doing instead?
Ooh, my parents always tell me I would have been a lawyer, so I guess I would stick with that.
Okay. and, and finally, what's one thing people don't know about Gordy Gurson that you think is fun and interesting?
I love my haters, all of them. I appreciate every single one of them because they keep me going. They keep me motivated, and it's real. It keeps me going. I just want to prove them wrong every single day, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I think it was the comedian Cat Williams, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but he made the comment that if you get a hater, you're off in the right direction. But if you get one hater, get two, and then if you get two, you get four, and then you continue to build on there because that means you're on the right path.
Definitely, that's my goal. Keep them coming.
well, we'll make sure we don't all hate you in California. Let's.
It's all right, Ontario. Oh, we don't play you guys this year, so that's fine.
Yeah, bummed.
Sure I would. The San Diego fans aren't going to be happy with me though.
I would have loved to have been either.
Play there.
Oh, great place to play. I would have loved to have gone to Milwaukee, or you guys come here, but maybe next season.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, Milwaukee is one of my favorite places to play as it is. So to call it home now, I'm just really excited.
And Milwaukee's excited to have you. Now, Gordy.
I hope so.
Oh, they are. I talked to some of the fans. They're pumped to have you on there. Kid Dynamite wearing Milwaukee Wave colors. They're all pumped. So I really appreciate your time today. But before I let you go, is there anything that you want to let the MASL fans know? Anything at all that you want to say to everybody?
Don't count Milwaukee out. They're defending their championship. So let's give them the opportunity to do it. And I'm happy to be a part of it because I'm hoping we go back to back.
Awesome. Gordy, it's been a pleasure. I would have loved to have continued this conversation, but I know you got somewhere to be. Just wanted to let you know, good luck this season. I hope you have an amazing year and kick some butt.
Thank you. I appreciate you and all you do for the league. It's great. Keep going. Love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Fans,
thank you.
The season's going to be starting November 26th. We got some other important bulletins coming out about points and playoff structure. So make sure that you smash those subscribe buttons on all of those social media forums to keep up to date with all the MASL news. My name's Philly. In case you don't know, I'll see you next time on MASL Insider. Thank you. Have a good one.